right? You have to play the character kind of aggressive to get value, right, with the cape and a lot of different ways to make sure you can find maximum value. But there's a potential in the future, especially if we enter sort of more brawl compositions. It's definitely still a good substitute once like a few other strategists are banned, so it's not totally out of the meta. Like the moment you get rid of Luna Snow, you get rid of Loki, it does require a lot of bans, but it could potentially come through depending on those few things.
Yeah, and some new things here. Let's talk about. We got two new teams to get eyes on. Noizii and BaldByChoice. I am personally excited to see great names, by the way. Personally excited to see some new talent on the board and see who shines. This is the kind of stuff you want to see from the MRC. Obviously, we know so a lot of these teams, a lot of the talent got names written down, but let's see some more as we see some consistent bans. But the Groot lock goes to show me one team's feeling confident on that composition, and Namor's still available.
Yep, Namor's still available. We got a Loki ban, Invisible Woman ban. Maybe we might see that Cloak and Dagger, like you said, with so many strategists getting removed. Psylocke ban on the side of Noizii. They don't want to play against that hero, and we get to learn a lot, like you said, about both of these teams, right? Depending on what they love to play. We have not seen any Mr. Fantastic, so that's an interesting hover. It could be a character played if you maybe combine Mr. Fantastic and the Thing or something. Just keep jumping to people. I don't know. There's some viability there potentially, but both teams sort of hover in some compositions. We might get some brand new stars showing up in MRC.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think we've seen a lot of Fantastic, or that we will see Fantastic, but I do think his best shot is with the Thing, because giving that damage reduction to an already very pseudo-tanky frontline duelist, which is a crazy sentence in a row, is the way to get the most value. Oh, and you know what's hysterical is as we start this game here, I'm seeing a Cloak and Dagger on the side of Noizii, so it is going to be chosen here at this level of play. Obviously, that blind with damage boost is incredibly powerful, but it does lead what you're mentioning before a little more vulnerable, right? Because you do have to fully commit to DPS in that moment. Obviously, the switch can happen quickly, but it does leave your team a little more vulnerable, and typically we see a lot of Cloaks using that ability post-ultimate, just giving them that healing already on the ground so they don't have to stress for it. But it's a tricky position and a tricky character to get solid with, as we will see Mantis Luna on the other side too, which rarely do you see Mantis in a duo strategist comp.
Yeah, compositionally, I really like Noizii's comp. I think they're playing the current sort of meta, right? Running the Groot, running the backup strategists in Cloak and Dagger. Luna Snow obviously more of a mainstay, but like you said, with Loki ban, with other strategists ban that could potentially Invisible Woman ban earlier, you have to kind of play this character, but the hooks come through onto TM on the backside. It doesn't really matter though, because the support is good. Yori throws the spear across the map. 20 to see you later.
Yeah, good throws there as we do get an early pick on the side of Noizii. Yori on the high side. We are having ult slowly gain here for the side of Noizii, keeping up the defensive position. I like these positions that they're throwing out. We haven't seen a lot of teams electing to own that high ground that BaldByChoice is using, which I do see a lot in ladder, right? So I'm just curious as how it's going to shake out here at this level of play. It looks like the teams are just choosing to keep this a high ground battle. An off angle push here by IGL on the Star-Lord, just trying to get some ult charge. 71% is not a bad start here. And Nubs on BaldByChoice is going to be holding on to that ult first. Will we see an early push to point? Yes, we will. As here we go onto the point with the dance, the fate of both worlds. Anti gonna find a nice pick onto Sir Bun Bun. Well done again by BaldByChoice. That's an early pick. They needed to get something there while Nubs had that up. And they are going to keep this train rolling. Anti trying to find more. Star-Lord going to pop off in the sky. Yori going to take out one. Down goes the Bucky. IGL against Yori. And right back again with Flawlix into Smog. Nice throw there by Timu's onto Nubs. And at this point, Noizii looks like they're taking this thing back on the defense.
Yeah, they've done a good job working it in. Anti, like you said earlier, has brought an advantage to BaldByChoice. Still aggressive with the Mantis, able to find the opening KO. Anti with the follow-up as well. So BaldByChoice sort of working themselves back into it, as well as Anti just drawing some aggression, working back towards the point as well. As BaldByChoice do have the ultimate advantage. They lose 20 to early though. Flawlix still chased down on the back. And now a minute and 43 seconds left to go. BaldByChoice are handedly in control as Yori gets staggered out.
And my mission.
Yeah, well done there by the side of BaldByChoice. Do have ult advantage for the next fight. It looks like they're really confident here. I'm not, not a lot of backstory here on both teams, but definitely seeing some strong play here by the side of Bald with ult advantage, still getting some stuff done. It's crazy because running the Mantis Luna is definitely more of an off meta composition in the strat line, without a doubt. Mantis, obviously a very offensive strategist, can do a lot of damage in the right hands, and that sleep, you can actually get 2 or 3, actually 2 headies off prior to waking them up. If you use it properly, pro Mantis people at this level will get that job done and get some nice anti-dive should they need it. But Noizii not with a ton of dive at this point, so just looking in the back line, Twanita, excuse me, it's just going to be pumping out damage at range, and nice chase there by Anti to take out Yori, and just keeping this thing rolling still with all these ults up.
And they're still keeping it rolling. Counter comes through from Noizii with their very own Fate of Both Worlds. Ayabagamota here to slow everybody down to this damage follow-up there. Looks like it partially is on a Tulip, and the Mantis with a damage boost is able to secure that elimination here into the sky, though. A very early ultimate from IGL, shut down by Killa.
We are undefeatable!
Yeah, again, going to be a very much shoved position on the side of Bald. I mean, there goes Mantis, gonna pop that early, moving them forward. Soul Resurgence, pretty strong, I guess, in the right hands, giving everyone a little bit of extra health and movement speed, which puts them in a more of an offensive strategist ultimate, just forces your team to chase forward, but not getting a ton of value out of it as Bald is gonna fall here. Tulip keeping that off-angle height. Yori does have Goddess ready to pop should need be, but outside of that, not much ready for this next fight.
This should help.
No, and IGL, by the way, gonna make the swap over to the Hela for their own side. And it is interesting that the Mantis is sort of being played instead of like a Rocket Raccoon, sort of like a budget Rocket Raccoon almost. You just have constant damage boost. But oh, what a hook! What a hook by Tulip to start it off.
Nice.
3-3-3 trades it back though.
Yeah, 3-3-3 on the height here is going to even it out. Yori going to take IGL though, and that is going to be nice, having the Hell advantage and the ult up for Yori, just buying space here if able. Yori on the defense, or excuse me, does get picked and immediately falls to 3-3-3, is going to drop them out of ult and immediately get that hook takedown. Timu's dropping 3-3-3 right back though. These fights just so even through these ultimates. At this point, you just got to hold on and try to get an ultimate fight and commit together instead of one by one popping these things. Flawlex on the Groot, ready to launch as well, as Noizii is going to be the only one using this Groot in this composition.
Yeah, Noizii still playing pretty consistent, or sorry, Flawlex specifically has been playing super well. Yori again from across the map. IGL in the flank gets matched by a freeze from the Luna Snow. So this defensive hold has been pretty strong until that Soul Resurgence, like you said, trades it back on a Tulip.
And up in the sky again, the dunk comes out. Is it gonna be enough? No, it does not land. Yori gonna take out Nubs though. Once again, keeping this pressure. Yori showcasing the double headies. KOs for days as Yori is bringing the odds back in their favor. 4-6 here, trying to take this high ground from them. And yep, here comes the play with the teleport up. Oh, that could be big enough there. Flawlex gonna take out Twan. Yori on IGL. Nubs against Yori, trading that right back. And they're still holding on here with the group.
They're still holding on, but the Ayabagamota from Monty able to finally break through this choke with the backup of the team. Maybe they can get this cart pushing, but they don't have anybody on it, so potential recontest can come through as well as that hook. Unfortunately blocked by the Groot. Noizii will have a retouch potential here.
Yeah, they should be able to get back, but the walls are becoming a problem. It looks like they pressed through, but Smug got to pick on Timu's early. Yeah, that's going to be enough for them, I believe, to take this dub, but we'll see on the ult chase. Ult goes up for Hela. Wait, it may not be done yet. Tulip with a retouch. Takes out Nubs and 3-3-3. Tulip showcasing what can be done with the Bucky. Again, not even needing the Q, but does fall from the Hela on a height. Wow, what a play there by the Goddess of Death during that fight to just sweep up everyone and allow BaldByChoice to chase through and push through point 2.
Yeah, these fights are absolutely scrappy. I mean, both teams without ultimates taking so many trades, right? IGL and Yori sort of going back and forth on top of the Groot specifically, I think, for Flawlex playing absolutely insane. BaldByChoice have eventually, seems like, figured out their composition. But at the moment, both teams are constantly going back and forth. Heavy hitters on both sides. Yori on the flank, however, in this fight. See if he can open it up, maybe look for this back line like we've seen a lot of really good Hellas do.
Yeah, Yori again trying to get that early pick. Does get value and resets out, but it is going to get the reset from 333. Ooh, almost got away, but not fast enough. And that goes to show you why it's difficult in the most heat of the battle to make that transition over to Cloak and hide. Down again, 333, taking out Killa, but it's back and forth as Tulip takes out Smog and another. Well done. It is just very much a trade here on the Buckies, but not enough by BaldByChoice. They're going to get held up at 4.3.
Yeah, a lot of ults committed there for the fight. BaldByChoice again, going to go aggressive more than likely with their very own Mantis to ultimate, right? They're going to keep that aggression, I imagine, at least set up Auntie in that Eye of Agamotto because they've got so many ults and Noizii has like nothing. What? What a fish for a hook there. What was that?
Downtown with the pull. Juanita trying to find a pick on the Hella. Ooh, and they do team up together. Great sleep there to take out Yori. That's going to be some nice early take. Having the Hella up right now on this front line is available. Anti going to take out Flawlix though on the retake, but now Cloak immediately going to bop. Ooh, great shutdown on Anti. Eye of Agamotto not going to get popped out, but it is back at 50%. Could very much happen again in this next fight as we do have that Eternal Bond on the ground. Now it is gone. IGL on the height there with the Goddess of Death. Another pick. 333 going to take out Sir Bun Bun. Down goes Cloak again on Tulip. Oh, the wall, portal wall. Will they get it off in time? Will it be successful? Haven't seen success yet as the group walls are up. Looks like they didn't, or maybe they did get it off.
It's there. I mean, it definitely is there, and nobody can touch. Oh no, Cap is too late. Cap it out, man. 3-0. Considering how first point, second point we're going, you got to feel pretty happy about that on offense, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, like seeing these new teams. I like seeing these talent. I just think these comps are a little strange, at least in the strategist line, right? Got to recheck those bans. You can see Invis, Loki, and Adam are gone, but you know, there's still some decisions there. Usually we'd see a Rocket to buff out the Bucky, but I do like the change in pace here, seeing some different play, getting Cloak and Mantis. I guess it's going to be a battle of who's feeling a little better and which strategist plays a little better, but we did see some aggressive angles there by Juanita. I liked seeing that. We did see some blinds by Sir Bun Bun. We also saw the only downside of Cloak, and that is the transition from Dagger to Cloak to try to get the shift away, but unfortunately the timing, just not able to escape the Bucky's speed when Bucky had that roof over his head with the Kraken impact. So I guess that does showcase the downside of Cloak and Dagger right there.
Well, yeah, Sir Bun Bun's timings were just awful. I'll be honest with you. Like in the Streets phase, lost 2 members of the team, then winning with the Cloak and Dagger ult. Third phase, same thing. Losing players on your own team and then committing a late Cloak and Dagger ult is not going to result in wins, I'll tell you that much. And now going on to attack, Noizii did look promising at points, but BaldByChoice in the clutch, right? When it mattered most, able to kind of come through, secure these team fight wins over, you know, Auntie's Eye of Agamotto, whether it be Juanita going very aggressive with IGL. That tandem working out right now for BaldByChoice. We'll see if they can maintain such aggression on the defensive side. Maybe the best defense is a good offense, and BaldByChoice obviously thinks that.
Yeah, I am surprised to see no Hella match. Maybe Yori put that confidence, or, you know, actually the lack of confidence into the side of BaldByChoice, who are electing to not have that battle. And they are going to be running the Namor combination with Bucky. So here we go, as we will have those Frost turret up on the side of BaldByChoice on height. They are going to be shoved into the building. Are immediately going to press this way left on that high ground, which we saw on the attack side of BaldByChoice as well. Seems to be a position that these teams want to run. We haven't seen this much in this tournament. A lot of that off angle, breaking the wall down, having somebody flank, and then pressing down main. But this height angle does kind of keep it an even playing field. It's more so who can land those shots and get more effective cooldowns, like this pull, which unfortunately did not land. Holy moly, Anti losing a ton of HP there. The bridge gets broken, which is what you need to do if you're defending and they're taking this angle, because you can't allow them to get into this building. Juanita just going to follow 333, keep the damage boost alive on both sides. Juanita gets 2. There we go, as we're seeing the power of Mantis really take effect.
Yeah, you talked about how you can get that combo after getting a sleep, and Juanita obviously very well practiced on the Mantis. You can see why they've wanted to focus on that character, and you know, it's tough because you have to walk in. Noizii not really setting up any flanks like we see a lot of top teams do. They don't send off Yori on like a crazy flank. Instead, it's Juanita and IGL being proactive, already setting up a flank this close with some damage boost and squids.
Feel better, fight better.
Yeah, we saw this a lot from Aramori in Season 0. The Mantis pocket on one DPS and take off angles together and try to get picks. And you really just have Mantis use that ult for the team fights, and outside of that, really just look at one DPS and make weird plays in terms of off angles. And I like that strategy. It did kind of fall to the wayside here in Season 1, but we are seeing a resurgence for this team. 3-3-3 with a huge early pick. Woo! Did get the pick on Flawless, which didn't think it was going to happen for a minute there. Anti gonna find another Doctor Strange. You cannot leave Doctor Strange alone with those strategists. Just always wins those 1v1s. A ton of damage potential in those kind of fights. As Tulip is gonna find an off angle, try to get this. Probably gonna hold on to Galactic Legend here, I would assume, on the attack, but they are committing some more stuff, and BaldByChoice Juanita is gonna pop that ult. I'm not sure it was necessary when they were already up a fair amount of numbers.
Yeah, not totally necessary, but at least, you know, they did get 2 ults on the other side out, and now on the defensive angle, they do have the combination alongside Smug and IGL. They can go for that potential high damage combination. Maybe with the damage boost, get the one shot onto somebody even through Strategist ultimates. Now Noizii and team, you know, the minute left on the clock after things were looking so good on defense. On offense, it's been a bit of a struggle. We'll see if they can use their ultimates to affect as BaldByChoice are giving space to Yori on the high ground.
Yeah, once again, this height is a dangerous position to be in, especially when you're attacking. Agamotto gets popped, not sure of where it landed just yet. Ooh, Juanita goes down, left alone when IGL had to go up in the sky. Lands the whale on Sir Bun, but immediately we see some real capitalization here by Yori in the sky with the Goddess of Death. Gonna take out 2, and yeah, looks like they are gonna take point 1 at least until this TP comes in from Anti, which could happen any second.
Oh yeah, that TP is definitely coming. Bun also taking some early damage from the squids. TP is here. Out onto the point they go. Armed and dangerous onto the front line with the Kraken impact. You do trade it out. Yori, nice shots. Back and forth for both sides. At this point, so close to getting capped.
Yeah, I'm not sure who won it at this point with eyes on. It looks like BaldByChoice is retaking positioning, but there's still Yori alive on the Hela, and Groot is 1. Down goes Groot. Still a few left on the table. 6 seconds on the clock. Got a touch here. Oh my goodness, Tulip gonna take out 3-3-3, finding the value when necessary, clutching up. Goodbye, Anti. Goodbye, Juanita. It's just like that. They do take the point when it looked dire.
Oh yeah, and I think you know what, that's good for them moving forward, obviously, to have Yori finally online. You really need this Hela to pop off because there's no Hela on the other side, so theoretically Yori should be free to do whatever they so choose. And you know, against the side of BaldByChoice, Yori can take advantage. IGL now has to swap over to the Hela on his own side, maybe realizing that without that hero, they weren't that good of a spot, though Namor is pretty good on that first point, so I can see potentially why IGL on this early flank on the top left angle shuts down Tulip. Perfect timing out of IGL.
Yeah, well done here. Juanita on the height again. Going to go left side. Just going to find that pocket and enable the DPS again. This is that off-angle pressure I'm talking about. Just going to stand right here and heavily focus on dealing damage and, you know, not necessarily needing the healing. Just keeping the damage boost up on both of you. Force the team to keep eyes on you and relocate when need be. Go back into the fight with that ult when needed. Well done. Again, Juanita just really popping off here on the Mantis. I like these off-angle fights on other duelists. Oh my goodness. IGL going to get another pick as Timu's goes down, and that is enough of an early pressure push here on the defense of BaldByChoice, I believe, to force them back to the spawn door as they are popping ultimates from Noizii, which I do think is, ooh, maybe it is going to get value. Yeah, it does. As IGL goes down from Flawless, 3-3-3, going to take out Sir Bun on a return, though, and Yori back on 3-3-3. Every single one of these fights is so back and forth.
It is absolutely not clean. Yeah, you have that Hela on the coastal side. You were like, okay, maybe they got baited into fighting the Hela over there, and then somehow the offense is winning the fight. So both teams, I think, are at the moment just scrapping, right? An absolute banger of this match right now is TMO's does take down Nubs. There's a Hela Unleashed meanwhile on the high ground, countered by the Meteor M, so at least the ultimates are there. Miss of the Meteor M, though, as BaldByChoice try to regroup around their ultimates. Oh, huge Strangling Prison.
Yeah, this, like you're saying, it seems a little sloppy, but it's working out. I mean, it's working out for the offense, at least right now, as, yeah, Noizii gonna find one on a Juanita early on. Give them the numbers, 5v6. Armed and dangerous in the sky. Great job by Cloak there to keep the team away. Another pick on 3-3-3. They got to get back on this point in 8 seconds. Keep this pressure alive. Fate of both worlds is being popped. No other major ultimates ready yet, as Anti is very close on the defense with the Eye of Agamotto. Flawless ready to drop that Strangling Prison too, should he need. Oh! Oh my goodness, the second freeze in a row. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and it actually considered the ult going off too.
I don't know what it is with Ant attracting those freezes. It's happened twice so far for Auntie, and now 1 minute 30 seconds left to go. They get to the third phase of the map now. BaldByChoice. Maybe for them, I'm sure they're hoping bed don't break, right? Make sure that this is as far as they're going to go for Noizii's team. Coming up on the Meteor M. Also, Stagger's now coming out. That's brutal to see for Team BaldByChoice right now. Is at the moment it feels like they're not balding by choice.
Balding from sheer stress right at this moment, but Killa 66, I gotta show love to those freezes on Strange, 2 back-to-back now from what I'm seeing that are just crucial in timing, and actually that timing on that just allowed Strange's ult to actually pop. I didn't see any value out of it, didn't see any souls getting popped out from the eye, but you know, maybe I missed it, but still not enough value to get any picks, and that does shut them down. So well done here by Noizii to get their footing, and we are going to pop some ultimates here. Another good pick. Twanita just really showing up with the Mantis, and I personally love to see it. A lot of off-angle finds, just playing like they're a DPS, and just letting Luna do her own thing on point. But Yori got to find one on Auntie. The entirety of Noizii using everything here to try to win this. 23 seconds on the clock. They've got to shove this thing in. Spin to win. 3-3-3 back on point. Does get walled off, but there's enough healing to keep the fight moving. At this point, it's an absolute battle, back and forth again. Solix falls, IGL falls, Tulip falls, and again, 3-3-3. My goodness.
And Killa, why are you using your ult so late? Please watch the VOD. Don't use that ult earlier. Now, because they don't have anybody else here, right? You got people on the point. You're gonna maybe get TP out. You can live for a little bit longer, but this fight would have been pretty handily on Noizii's favor if that ultimate was just a little bit too early, though. Flock gets one, 3-3-3, goes forward, able to find that elimination. And with just Yori and crew on the objective, nobody else here to save the point.
Wow.
And you can't help but feel if those strategist ultimates were just a little bit earlier, Noizii would have taken the map. At number 1, though, goes in favor of BaldByChoice.
Gonna be honest, I think we saw more KOs from Bucky just using the pistol than we did from the ultimate right there. Just a ton of good shots. Like, rarely see these common standard fights without pressing Q have that much value, but I think that was like a 5-piece, 4 or 5-piece right there, just walking everyone down. I do agree. I think the biggest flaw there on the side of Noizii was just the issues on the strategist ultimate timing, just a little bit, just not getting things done with, you know, on both sides, whether it was the cloak ultimate just slightly late in the first push or the first defense, or Killa there as well at the very end. But Killa did do a great job on those freezes, so we did see some value. I think playing a little more of an offensive style Luna with 13k damage, so did almost top damage charts, even almost over the Mantis, which is surprising because we saw how Mantis was playing, just a few hundred points of damage behind there as well. So really, really well done.
Oh yeah, really well done. Let's go to a short break. Let's hit these highlights before we enter mat number 2.
Oh, highlights may not be ready just yet, I believe. Ooh. Welcome back. BaldByChoice versus Noizii. Going to be heading towards the side of BaldByChoice. Obviously, some new teams on the roster, new teams on the screen, and I'm excited to see them, but it looked like BaldByChoice just looked like they were running things right there, especially in that final push.
Yeah, they figured things out. You know, maybe on their first defense, it was a little bit shaky. They had to sort of, you know, regroup maybe on their offense, or on the defense rather, kind of figure things out. And versus Noizii, it looked like they really got it under control. Now heading into the next map, Maybe we're going to have some different bans and protects. I think usually against these teams, we see similar ones, or at least very reactionary bans and protects. First, ban Adam Warlock again. I think it's the same thing as before. BaldByChoice have their pick of the litter, and it's going to be Loki this time around.
Yeah, they did like banning out a lot of those strategists, leaning into those more maybe off-meta picks. We saw on both sides some unique picks, so I'm curious if we're going to see that again. Psylocke getting locked in by 333. Me and you have been back and forth on Psylocke all night here, trying to decide if she has a place here at the very top level into these compositions. And here's another test, I guess we will see. Locking in the Psylocke, Warlock going to get ditched as well. Let's find out the next lock-in. That's going to be Luna, which we saw a ton of success over on actually I believe both sides had some serious plays, but there was a ton of good freezes there on this side, I believe, of BaldByChoice.
Yeah, the Luna Snow protect or bring that hero into the next fight, into the next map, rather. Star-Lord ban comes through. I don't even think BaldByChoice really even played too much Star-Lord, so kind of an interesting one. Meanwhile, Namor ban for BaldByChoice. Make sure that hero gets removed. And then they're just allowed to play the Hela once again.
Yeah, the Hela battles have been legit. Obviously, Killa's showcasing that Mr. Fantastic, but we know Killa's going to be running that Luna just based on the freezes from last game. Did a good job there holding on from Noizii. Tried the best. I did like those cancellations, really strong positioning and understanding. Knowing when those big alt plays are coming in, a lot of it has to do with somebody on the team, which does something they call like clocking ultimates, having an understanding and letting your team know who's going to have one in the next fight. And somebody who does that really well typically will help carry games. If you have somebody, we've heard teams in previous tournaments mention, this player essentially is the guy who's on top of our ultimates for us. And when they have somebody who does that at a good level and has a good understanding, it is a massive advantage for that team. So, we saw some success there, just canceling out some ultimates.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a great point, Shib. A lot of the top teams do in fact ultimate track to a high level, high degree of success. That's definitely something you look for in a player. Right, if you're scouting out like a strategist player or something, or even a Vanguard that can track ultimates, it's on the coach to kind of determine what their accuracy is most of the time. Right, the best players are usually 80-90% of the time pretty accurate on tracking those ultimates. And it seems like BaldByChoice have a good read on Noizii. Noizii mixing it up this time, going to have Tulip on the Winter Soldier, combining it with Yori again on the Hela. Meanwhile, BaldByChoice, the first time running the Psylocke throughout the series, and maybe they just like it on this map.
Invis still on the table. BaldByChoice still electing to run the Mantis. Did see some serious success on picks in the off angles, so I can see why that would happen. But Invis, obviously an incredibly strong strategist. A little bit surprised to see that, but maybe potentially not necessarily a one trick, but somebody who feels very comfortable getting the max extent of value off on the Mantis. Nice dive there by 333, who was going to find Sir Bun on that Invis while invisible and get an early pick. Good job driving them back into spawn.
Well, this is what we talk about. It's not the hero, it's the player, right? Most of the time, composition, if we think about it, really doesn't matter, right? If you have an incredibly high skill team, you could probably beat a lower skill team most of the time, even without a optimal composition. So if BaldByChoice is the better team overall, they should just straight up be able to win regardless of Mantis or Invisible Woman or whatever. But BaldByChoice taking advantage on these flanks. IPL, with the opening pick, immediately met by an ultimate from 333.
Yeah, see, that's getting some good value. We do see some success with Psylocke here, which, we needed to see, I think, just based on the picks. And, a ton of burst potential here. Oh, this could be a problem. Luna was available, just barely missing a few clicks there. Could have been a tide changer, but down goes 333. Yori with some serious damage there, going to connect with the dome of the Psylocke. And again, IGL, tried to find an off angle.
Oh, okay, so nice. I thought they almost had like counter synergy with the boop up by the thing out of the Meteor M, but it's pretty crazy and very aggressive, by the way, by BaldByChoice, just running towards the objective. Everybody's just running in without ults, knowing Noizii just used theirs, so not too shabby for them to go towards the defensive angle now. And for BaldByChoice, I don't know if they're convincing me necessarily that Psylocke is the meta, but it's good for them, right? They're doing pretty good with it right now, and see if they can keep it up moving forward.
Absolutely, and you know, they do still have 4 ultimates up, and that is a sign of a team that was just playing aggressively at spawn. You know, they are able to have a few more fights here, so clearly working out for them. Flaw gonna use that clobbering time, find one in the back end, but no, Luna gonna make sure that fate of both worlds is gonna keep everyone up and healthy. So not unfortunately gonna find a ton of value there, but did force that out, which is a W in and of its own right. In the shield in the sky, Smog gonna get one. It's down, goes Sir Bun Bun. Nice pick there for the side of BaldByChoice's defense. Gonna drive them, heading them back towards spawn. Killa falls, Flawlix falls, Yori falls, but Yori does take one with him as IGL goes down, and Juanita is gonna take out Timu's.
Minute left to go. BaldByChoice looking a lot better than they did on the previous map on a Spider Island, which is interesting since this is Noizei's map choice. 3-3-3. Meanwhile, on the right side of the map, kind of just being a nuisance, right? Has ultimate's advantage this fight as well. BaldByChoice sitting with a massive advantage. Killa could be the difference maker. And Flawlix actually going to be the difference maker, finding the opening pick onto an aggressive Psylocke.
Yeah, good aggression play here. They are going to find themselves pushing back finally a little bit more space. Well, the team is up. IGL with a crazy backline play. Going to drop 2, shutting down that momentum very quick. Well done here by IGL on the off angle.
Yeah, well done indeed. I mean, just consistently forcing out these 2 players. They have to walk all the way back from the spawn. In fact, they're looking for him again. We literally just came out of spawn. That was interesting by the front line to not take advantage of it. Of BaldByChoice. Psylocke ultimate met by Killa's ultimate on the other side, so they're at least trying it out 1 for 1, ultimate-wise.
Here comes a high ground take here from Yori. Going to try to do exactly what IGL did. Looking at the strategist line. Great ultimate there. Well done on Anti, who does find a few and follows up. Going to put a ton of pressure on, as it looks like BaldByChoice. Wait, they are, yeah, they're just going to take this, I believe. Overtime now. Eye goes out again for the opposition. Flawlix falls. So does Timu's. Not exactly fair to say it, but they do get a few, and it looks like the OT should run out.
Yeah, BaldByChoice, I'm not sure if they're J3 fanboys or not, but this team, you know, they're looking pretty good as it stands, right? This would be massive considering, you know, we talked about, me and you talked about, it was like interesting how, you know, Shikigami's out of the tournament already. We've got a few other teams out of the tournament, maybe due to unlucky bracket placings, right? This is maybe a discussion that could be, we could have, right? BaldByChoice, definitely not a bad team per se, but you know what? If they win today, that's all that matters, right? You get to go on to tomorrow. You get to play deeper into the tournament. It might be a hard matchup that you're going to have next, obviously, if you take down Noizii, but right now, you know, they look pretty solid with this sort of weird Mantis composition, right? With the weird Mantis and Psylocke duo.
Yeah, squeaking themselves top 16. I mean, that's what you want as a team. That's a big number. I mean, obviously able to get the job done with whatever comp they may be running. You know, you see the Widow here. I personally would love to see it with the Mantis boost. I know Widow gets a lot of slack, but Widow with somebody who does not miss pixels with the Mantis boost can be devastating to a strategist line. So there is a chance we see it, being that Juanita just loves this Mantis. So here we go on the offense, 15 seconds on the clock. Wouldn't be surprised if they keep it at least for maybe a KO or 2. But Noizii needs to make sure they hold on, as we see Team Mouse is going to be on the Penny Parker on defense.
2, 1.
Yeah, Penny Parker defense could be viable. We've seen a bit of 100 Thieves play it before with the triple Vanguard. Maybe, oh my god, yeah, look how many mines he just ran into. Anti soaked all of them, didn't even check. He's like, oh, there's a Penny Parker. He looked around, he's like, nobody told me there's a Penny Parker. What's going on here?
Oh, I love it. It would have been really fun if we saw the mine trap in the spawn, just, you know what I mean, making its way here to the top 16 of the tournament. All right, we are going to keep aggression. They do have, okay, not a bad place to hold down that healing zone. Just cut off angles there.
You got to kill.
Wow, T gonna find one on the Psylocke, trying to take an off angle. Found some mines as Tulip also gets a pick.
Hey, to be fair, Penny Parker kind of does counter Psylocke. You know what? I like this. This is not bad from Noizii. This could be their chance to upset BaldByChoice right now.
I like it too. I mean, I like seeing these off-meta characters get play as IGL. Speaking of off-meta, is going to fall there on the Widow. They are completely shutting down these off angles left and right here with the Penny, forcing mines everywhere. You know, Penny off cooldown, placing those mines, you can have a ton out, and they deal an absurd amount of damage, especially when you stack them. This angle right here, again, the pick on Ante, just not allowing anyone to make any plays. You got to fight me down main right now. I love to see the value out of this Penny.
Bricklayer POV. He's just laying the mines. It's just everybody's running into him. This is awesome. This is sick to see. Meanwhile, 333 on the flank trying to set something up. Ultimates will be available. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. They've swapped off that earlier comp, by the way. Nice job committing that Mantis ultimate to counter any potential lethal damage. But no, over the high ground, Yori takes down Juanita.
Yeah, and there comes the Psylocke. Gonna get countered out there by the Fit of Both Worlds. Up goes the Meteor M. Looking for some value. Dunked on. Down goes Sir Bun Bun again. Smug finding a few of those. Always on Bun Bun, it seems, at this point. But it's not going to be enough to keep them going here as Noizii is still holding on.
Nobody's breaking the mine. Nobody stopped this Penny Parker. This is like the craziest Penny Parker on Spider Islands we've seen yet, man. I mean, it makes sense. It's her map, right? It's Spider Islands.
Yeah, this is a strong Penny map. There's so many off angles that are so tight in terms of the window, and there's so many mines right there. It's insane. Nobody is going to get through that door without getting absolutely smushed into the ground. So the KOs have been very apparent here for Team Mouse, and you know, I love to see it personally. We are seeing some different stuff here at the Eye of Agamotto. Does find a few, but will they get picks? Tulip going to take out Ante.
Cart. But the cart. They're going to stay on the cart while taking all this damage. Oh my god, BaldByChoice can get it done. It's going to be here. Penny Parker's gone. In a second. No, saved by the boundary.
All they need is one here. I mean, at this point, it's anyone's been so back and forth. Mines are getting taken out left and right. They're just trying to hold. I don't know how they're still on this cart at this point, but it just seems like Noizii's able to stay on it somehow. 333, that's a good pick there. Killa gonna turn that around on IGL. Killa gonna be the only strategist here right now. Will they be able to maintain that positioning? Oh, wow. Yori. Killa goes down. Yori gonna get a pick, then get picked. Ante drops Killa, so it's just so back and forth. At this point, I don't even know where the numbers are as the teleport comes in. They are gonna see a Psylocke get a ton of damage out. Yori falls from Ante. Oh my goodness, this fight on the final point, 30 seconds on the clock. Fate of both worlds gets mopped. Nobody's falling right now. It is so back and forth here from Noizii and BaldByChoice.
I mean, somebody's got to get these final eliminations. They're missing two members on Noizii's side. Freeze comes out. Timu's gonna fall, and there it is. Dominoes slowly collapsing. Killa goes down. Boundary. Is that a second one from Sir Bun Bun? I think it is. That's crazy how we see a second boundary in this fight. Eye of Agamotto comes out, blocked by the shield, and everybody else slowly funneling towards the objective. BaldByChoice have done it. They've secured themselves into day number 2 on the broadcast. Oh my God, congratulations. Top 16, that's in there. They have that in their bio now. Top 16 MRC. Holy smoke.
Absolutely. Making it to the top 16 is no joke. You know, whatever bracket it may be, clutching up before you get eliminated and taking these W's home. I mean, that was a crazy battle on the final point there. That was like 2-3 minutes of just people holding on, managing to get multiple ultimates on both sides. Just the teleport in from Strange, driving this point even longer. I mean, you got to look at these numbers here. 333 popping off of the Psylocke, getting the most final hits in the entire lobby. Psylocke viable, especially into this comp, apparently. And it looks like they tried to run the triple Vanguard at the end. I was noticing from the teleport there as Tulip made the switch, but good stat lines, just not enough to take home that W.
Yeah, I'll be convinced about the Psylocke when we maybe see some good teams play. I don't know. I don't want to. I'm trying not to be too mean, but like, listen, man. Listen, we've seen 100 Thieves play today. We've seen Fly Quest play today. We've seen a bunch of good teams. I don't know. Like we've seen Shikigami play the Psylocke. It didn't work. Who knows? Maybe I just need to be stopping a generational hater like some chat members have said. Highlights are ready, by the way. Let's go check those out and then go to a short break.